Hey everybody, what's up? You're listening to Experiments.fm, a podcast where we talk about marketing experimentation, optimization, testing, growth, where we run real experiments on products and brands that we've built, bought, or partnered with a client on. So let's dig in. Welcome to Experiment.fm.
I'm Brianne.
I'm Ryan, and we're going to be talking today about kind of a continuation of our last episode, What is an Experiment Sprint? Today we're going to be talking about two things. One, who should be running these experiment sprints? And what does the team structure typically look like for these types of sprints? So as far as the who.
The who's who.
Yeah, the who's who. We, generally speaking, we feel like everybody should be running experiment sprints. So we've yet to find an organization that really wasn't a candidate for this. We have run experiment sprints with companies that are SaaS business models, membership websites, B2B sales organizations, B2C lead gen type companies.
And I would also add that you'd be running these experiments at any stage in your business too.
100%.
So whether you're a startup, whether you're trying to grow, whether you're an enterprise company, right off the bat, and
yeah, I think that the sprints look different depending on what your business model is and at what stage you're at, right? So if you're a startup that has not achieved product market fit, your sprints are probably going to look different than what they look like if you have product market fit and are trying to do growth, right? If you're an enterprise organization, we constantly get feedback from bigger companies saying, why is this a fit for us? We're not a startup. Isn't this a sort of Silicon Valley startup thing? The answer is no. This is, if you're an enterprise organization and you're looking to experiment with a new business model, test big changes to something on a product that you've already got, but don't want to disrupt your existing business, this is a great way to do it. The other key factor is, what does the team look like? Like, how do we execute on this, right? Executing on these sprints is you'll hear us use the term growth or growth team or experiment team. If you look around Silicon Valley or any sort of, tech-related marketing organization, you're going to find that growth is, and we agree with this, growth is cross-functional, right? Like growth isn't, it's not the old school marketing like linear where you have a VP of marketing and then they're completely disconnected to the rest of the business, the tech, the design, the data analysis. It's all should be one function, one organization.
We kind of talked about that in the other episode too, is that the experiment team that's going to be put together, regardless of your business model, regardless of where you are in your business growth, the people who are making the decisions and your implementation team need to be part of the experiment team. So everybody needs to be at the table, whether your group is 2 people or it's, I would also say size does matter.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't get too big.
Yeah, exactly. So we've over the last few years, we have done a bunch of these with different sized organizations. And we found that these 3 characteristics really stand out, right? That the experiment team should be working in 4-week tracks. Again, we fluctuate that a little bit, but 4 weeks is kind of the sweet spot. We feel like that this experiment team needs to be less than 7 people. And we'll go through some of the details of what the team looks like. And here's the key thing, is that it needs to have one owner, right? It needs to have a product owner. Or somebody that can make decisions and act as a product owner. We'll talk about this in later episodes or something, but we feel like these types of experiment teams need to be thinking like a product organization, right? Like everything around product management, product marketing in tech right now is focused around this concept of a product, and we think that every business can be viewed from a product management standpoint. So these teams need to have a product owner. So here's kind of what the team might look like. I can just run down this list and give an idea of who these people are and who they should be. Who should be involved in it?
Is it I should?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Allow me.
You know it better than I do, so.
Well, to follow what you were saying, you should have a product owner, that decision maker, because the whole point of the experiment sprint too is you're prioritizing. Everybody has ideas, but to actually prioritize, use the data from the experiment before to make decisions moving forward. So you do need a key decision maker to be able to do that. You need to have your design team and your UX team there so that they can make sure that it's looking good, along with your development team. So we like to see these two departments, if you will, work together, be at the same table.
Yeah,
I think that's really important.
We can go super deep on that concept. Like there's
And
designing and developing for growth is a huge topic, and it's something that we've got some some learnings on. So yeah, design dev, the handoff is key.
Yeah. And I think that back to business size, regardless of, excuse me, how big it is, a lot of times the bigger you get, you'll see these departments kind of being siloed and they're not talking together. And that's one of the key points to how the sprint team works, is that your media buyer should be at the table, your copywriter should be at the table, along with your data analysis. So using that information to come back and actually make decisions.
Totally transparent communication.
Yeah.
Like if the one of the key mistakes that we see a lot is that the people, the folks responsible for pushing traffic to the site, whether it's a media buyer or an SEO person, a PPC person, and somebody that's running email campaigns, they'll be completely disconnected from the experiment process, and they're not talking to the people that are looking at data on the site, right? Does the site convert? What pages are people looking at? What events are they triggering on the site? And that disconnect is a huge problem not only from a user experience standpoint, but from a time standpoint. The feedback loop has to be nearly instant, so this team needs to be gelling and pointed in the same direction. So product owner, UI, UX, copywriter, media buyer, developer, business analyst, and depending on the complexity of the experiments, a data scientist, somebody that can run SQL queries and get into a database and segment data is absolutely critical. So that just in summary, experiment sprints work for all types of organizations, right? Or business models: startup, growth, enterprise, SaaS, B2B, e-commerce, lead gen, ad supported. It really doesn't matter. These experiment sprints work across business models. And two, who's going to be running them and what the team looks like. You got to have a transparent, cross-functional team that's pointed in the same direction and is designed to, designed for speed, right? Yeah, this is a sprint. This is the path to real data is critical here. We can go from problem analysis to whiteboarding sketch solutions, designing those, building them, implementing, and running traffic and analyzing in a 4-week period. But there's no way that happens without a well-structured team that's pointed in the same direction.
Yeah.
So
I would add one more little PS. You can also do this remotely. The
100%.
whole team doesn't have to be in one room. We do this with our clients all across the country. So
world,
yeah, exactly.
New Zealand,
there's people
Australia,
all over that are still on the same team, working towards the same goal, but they don't necessarily have to be in the same location.
That's an awesome point. I mean, with the tools that are available today, right? We'll probably do a whole deep dive on the tools that we use, right? But generally speaking, we use Asana for Kanban board flows. We use Slack for real-time communications. And a whole host of other whiteboarding collaboration tools, Figma for design collaboration.
You could go on and on.
We could go on and on, and we will. We'll do a whole other episode about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, remote is, frankly, you could make the argument that these work better remotely. I think it would be interesting to do a deep dive on the differences.
That's probably true, because otherwise you could just talk all day about all the different things. It's very structured.
Yeah, we actually wrote a blog post, I think somewhere on our site, about how we do this remotely, and it's definitely different, but you could make the argument that it's almost better. So one last thing I would add is if you have comments or questions about what an experiment sprint is it right for my organization, or any suggestions for topics that you want us to do deep dives on, throw them in the comments either on YouTube or on on the site where you see this, or drop us a note on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, and we'll get it out there. Look forward to it, and thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.